Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how I set up a bait hive to capture a swarm. Normally I set the bait hive up at the beginning of May, just before peak swarming season hopefully. So without further ado, let me talk you through the process I use. First off, it's a bit like setting up a hive for a swarm. First thing you want ideally is a solid floor. So with this solid floor I've got here, what I've done is I've cut an entrance of about 40 millimeters in one corner of the floor. I've also attached two metal brackets that I can use to screw the brood box to the floor to make it easier going up and down the ladder to where I site my bait hive. So that's the floor, put that on the bottom. Then I have a standard 14 by 12 brood box. I keep my bees on 14 by 12, but if you have a standard national or even a WC, you could use that instead. So the brood box sits on top of the floor. And then I arrange my frames perpendicular to the entrance, so what's known in the UK as the cold way. Doesn't matter, I don't think, which way you orientate your frames, but that's the way I prefer it. So all I've done with the brood box is I've scraped it, I've not flamed it. I want to try and maintain the scent so that when the scout bees are out, this is what's going to attract them. This plus using old drawn comb. So I don't fill the box with 11 frames, which is what it would take. I tend to put 7 or 8 frames in. And as I said, they're frames of drawn comb or old brood frames. In some ways, the older the better. You want frames that have got a very strong odour from previous bees that have been in them to attract the scout bees. So, in this particular case, I've got some frames that aren't as manky as some, and I tend to put these better quality frames in the centre of the brood box. This way, my view is that I'm encouraging the queen to lay in the centre of the hive in the nicer frames. So in total, there are 7 frames of drawn comb there, and then I'd like to put in a dummy board just to seal off the frames from the entrance. So the entrance is down that side, so there's a gap of 3 or 4 frames on this side, so the bees can come in, fill up this. It doesn't get too drafty where the frames are. I've found that if I put frames all the way along, because it's a swarm, they tend not to fill up the box that well. So this way it concentrates the bees into a smaller area. On top of the brood box and frames, I put down here a cover board. In my particular case, cover board's got slots in it, so I've put 2 porter escapes in there, because when you put the crown board on the top, what you want to try and avoid when you're lifting the hive up and down the ladder, as I do to put it in the spot, is you don't want the bees flying out at you. So what I'm going to do is put a ratchet strap around the crown board, the floor and the box, and then I can take the roof up and down separately, because my roofs are Although they're flat roofs, they're actually quite heavy. This one probably weighs the best part of 3 kilos. So again, just trying to make the hive as easy and light to manipulate as possible. So the box sits like that, and in the next part of the video I'll show you it in situ on my flat roof. It tends to face south to southwest. As you can't tell, but I'm up the top of a ladder. It's about 3 meters off the ground. The hive's in position now, south facing. What I'm now going to do is just put the crown board back on. I just wanted you to see what it actually looks like from the top, because you only saw me from the bottom. So entrance is on, that's on the left hand side as you look. Put the crown board in place. Attach the ratchet straps now, and then just sling the roof on the top. So here's the bait hive in position with the roof on top. It's facing south, free flying zone in front of it, so it's not blocked. And the good news is it's positioned on the edge of the flat roof, so I don't need to keep climbing the ladder to see if I've got a swarm. I can tell from the activity in front of the hive whether I've been successful capturing a swarm. So hopefully in the next part of the video you'll get to see me take the swarm down.